Password to ভুল লেখা আছে কিয়? তুমি তো এয়া দি start কৰিব লাগে। মই login কৰি দিছিলোঁ, মই কিন্তু তুমি নাই কৰাৰ কাৰণে আচ্ছা মই বন্ধ কৰি দিছোঁ। তুমি কৰাচোন চব ৰৈ আছে জানা, অলপ 5 মিনিট আগতে start কৰিব লাগে। end meeting for all হৈ আছে। তাৰমানে মোৰ পৰা start হৈ গ'ল, মই start কৰি দিওঁ নেকি? ৰ'বা তুমি থাকা, তুমি সোমোৱাচোন ৰ'বা হা, recording start হৈ গ'ল, recording
It's sharp 6, so I think we should be starting. And a very good evening to everyone. Welcome to the LBN webinar. And today we have a very interesting topic: how to make your brand stand out, branding and marketing strategies in the post-COVID market space. I am Dr. Vasavi Acharya, co-founder LBN. And before I introduce the panel of esteemed speakers we have today with us, let me briefly tell you about LBN, which was founded this year in 2020 in the midst of this harrowing pandemic. It signifies that some good things happen even in the most trying times. LBN aims to build a successful networking model to support the local and indigenous business persons and business ventures and entrepreneurs. To know more about LBN, do visit our Facebook page, LB Network. So today we have in our midst 3 stalwarts from the branding, advertising, and marketing domain to tell us how to make a brand stand out. I welcome Babita Barwa, Managing Partner, GTB India. She needs no introduction. We are so glad to have you, Babita, with us today.
Thank you so much, Vasavi, Dr. Vasavi. It's a pleasure to be
here.
Thank you.
I welcome Anisul Haq. He's the founder and creative head, Resonance Brand Communications. And that has created a niche for itself in the advertising world. A big welcome to Anisul.
Hi, Vasavi. Thank you so much.
And I welcome Nitin Jain, Managing Director, Prodigy. Hi. And our next speaker is Nitin Jain, Managing Director, Prodigy Communications and Marketing Private Limited. Nitin is a serial entrepreneur and has been instrumental in creating some very good brands. Welcome, Nitin.
Thank you, Vasavi.
So first, I shall be starting with one question, which is common for all our panelists here today. And that is, first, I would want Babita to address it. Brand building is a process of generating awareness and promotion of the services of a company through direct advertising. But brand building is not just advertising, it is much more. Your comments on it, Babita.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all the audience here for making time on a Friday evening. It's a pleasure to be able to share some of my learnings and also an opportunity to learn from the other experts here. So brand building is often, I won't say confused, but it's often intermixed with advertising, but it's not really the case. Brand building is an ongoing journey. It is a journey of an honest product story, benefits which are relevant to a consumer's life, rich experiences, and everything that a brand does to occupy a strong place in our heads and in our hearts. Advertising communicates these aspects of the brand to consumers. So advertising is really the brand connection with the consumers, almost like a bridge between a brand and a consumer. However, to define advertising as just a film or a print or a digital is very, very limiting. Any brand engagement or experience that we see around us is actually advertising. So for example, it could be your packaging, it could be your shop front, it could be a founder story, it could be a community service that you're doing. Everything which connects to the consumer you want to engage with, sell to, is advertising. And digital has really altered this traditional definition. So for example, say I work in the automobile category now. So we have a balance of advertising as we know it traditionally, which is your TV and your film, print ads, etc. But there is an equal and in fact much more focus on what do owners talk about, what do the stakeholders talk about, what are the different stories which are being written around it, what is our product story, what is our origin. So there are a lot of things which go together to form a brand. And before I end, the last but the most important thing I want to leave you with before the conversation moves on to the next speaker is there are brands today who actually, not today, actually over the years, but I'll cite an example today, who actually have grown without advertising as we know it. And one example is, and I'm picking up on an example which is a global brand now, which is your Sriracha sauce. And I don't know whether some of you, all of you are familiar. Sriracha is a chili sauce, right? It comes in a red bottle with a green cap, and it is now globally acknowledged as the best red chili sauce. And the founder of Sriracha has actually said that for him, it is always about the product that has done the talking. And of course, you see a few Instagram posts and you see some posters, etc. But it is less than 1% of his total revenue. Royal Enfield, for example, their advertising is equal to what their owners, what their community talks about each other. So that's really what brand building is. It is far more than advertising, but advertising plays a very important role.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Babita. Your comments, Nitin, on this. Am I audible? Nitin, your comment on this?
Sorry. I welcome each and everyone here on this Friday evening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vasavi. What is brand building? Brand building is nothing. It's a proper marketing. Now, what does marketing means? Most of the people, when even I didn't started advertising, I thought marketing and advertising are same. But there is a difference between marketing and advertising, and we need to understand that. The first and foremost, what is marketing? So marketing is all about product, price, place, and promotion. In short, if I tell you if marketing is a complete pie, advertising is one of the most important slice of that pie. So like as you asked, is brand building is just advertising? No, it's not just advertising. Like what Babita said, there are lots of examples, there are lots of brands. I can tell you a brand, like everybody have heard about the name called Zara. They don't advertise, but they are one of the biggest fashion brand in this world. Why? They have made sure, like the place which they choose as their store, they always choose in that way where it becomes a tool of advertising. And there are lots of other brands, like suppose if you take an example of Big Bazaar, what is the first thing which come to our mind? Big Bazaar started a campaign ki sabse sasta din. So that's how people started to relate it, if when they went to Big Bazaar, they got all, good quality product at a cheaper price. So it's a mix of product, price, place, and yes, advertising is a very important tool in the entire brand building exercise. But advertising is not only brand building. Thank you. Vasavi, you need to unmute yourself. Vasavi, you are still on the mute.
So over to you, Mr. Anisul, your comment on this.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Great to be here. And it's a bit of evening. I mean, we all have been waiting for. Let me come straight to the point. I think both these speakers have I really was looking forward to listening more to them, but they finished a bit early than my expectations. And that has left a slight bit of more time for me to talk about. Can you hear me, all of you? Is it okay? Am I hard?
Yes, you are, Anis.
Okay. Yes, Pavita. Right. I think both of you have quite succinctly summarized actually that advertising is not enough for something to be called a branding or brand. To talk about the difference between branding, marketing, and advertising, I think we have to touch upon all the three things one after another: marketing, branding, and advertising. Advertising, you all know, basically advertising is part of overall marketing, say mix, if you call it marketing mix. Advertising, to me, I'm basically a Seth Godin fan, you know. Marketing is all about, sorry, there was a hitch. Marketing is all about bringing out a change, you know. There's a meaningful change if you can bring about. Marketing is not about just there's a commercial brand or entity that you have to sell. It can be anything. It can be a human brand, a personality, or it can be an NGO or social, whatever, any entity. If you want to bring about a certain amount of change in society or any place, and you are going out with an initiative, that particular initiative needs to be designed and given an identity, and that particular thing is called a brand. You know, that entity is called a brand. Now, however, the way you create and create an identity about the brand, the way it should look, the way it should feel, the way it should sound, that is called creating a brand identity. Now, when you create a brand identity and then you start, going about your marketing business, the whole process of trying to get connected with your target audience and through different touch points, this is all part of the overall branding process. Because when you create a brand, the brand is there, and now you have to connect the brand with your target audience over all the stakeholders of the brand, and not only the consumers, but media, the people who are owning the company, everyone else, whoever is connected to the brand. Now, the way the brand should always create a certain positivity about the all the contact points, you know, through all the contact points. This is what branding is all about. And marketing, of course, as I said, it's a change maker. When you go for a change, create a certain change in the market or create a change in society with the initiative or something, the whole process is called marketing. Unlike the popular belief, for most of the people think that actually the sales is marketing, and a lot of time they tend to compare even marketing with sales. That's something far away from what the truth actually is. So we know brand is all about, well, I mean, there are a lot of things can be told about brand and branding, and most of our viewers know about that. So branding is that, and when you do a branding, why small or bigger businesses have to go for branding? Because unless you create a brand, you're basically a commodity, and a commodity does not fetch that kind of pull factor for the brand, for the entity, whatever you're trying to sell. You have to create a certain pull factor. You cannot go about pushing yourself for people to buy whatever you're trying to sell. So when you create a brand, create an identity, create an image about yourself, a feel factor. And brand is what? Brand is basically a gut feel. You know, I mean, whenever you think about, whenever you hear something, an entity, a brand name, what comes to your mind, the thought, that gut feel, that is the brand for you. And that is the brand actually. And that is a composite of so many things. Advertising, of course, we know, is part of overall marketing. So when you advertise, there are different channels through which you advertise. It is not just print, not just television. There are a lot of other media today. Digital is very prominent today, outdoor, which is also called OOH. So that is part of advertising, which is actually part of the communication of the brand. So I can go on and on, but I think to summarize, this is the difference between branding, marketing, and advertising. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anisul. I think we've got a fair idea. I mean, there's this thin line, and sometimes we kind of get confused, and most of our the new startups, the entrepreneurs, when they need to create a brand and how they go about it, sometimes they get confused. So it's like very beautifully said and explained, so that this thin line is actually the demarketing line that actually separates branding and marketing. Now, coming to Babita, like taking from where Mr. Anisul, I think he ended, like why do we need to make a brand? Why do we need to make it stand out? And how do we do it? Over to you, Babita. So you can just, what is the importance? Because when I launched Tender Petals, we had this, dialogue, like what's a brand? Why, how do we create it? And why and how do we do it? So Babita, over to you.
Thank you. So you're right. In fact, it's a good example of when we start out, we have a product or we have a service. And do we want to make it a brand? Now, a product or a service, you can see it, or you can feel it, or you can experience it along with the product. But when it is a brand, there's a lot of intangible, there's a lot of things which comes purely with emotion, purely with a perception, purely with a belief. And actually, in a way, it is these intangible perceptions or emotions which take a product from a brand, which actually allows you to have a pricing strategy which could be at a very high premium when the product is the same, but the brand makes a difference. Yeah. So before we talk about what makes a brand stand out, I think there are three questions three in my vocabulary now, but there are many questions which all of you in business, or if you're handling anything, should ask, which are around these three. The first one is, what business am I really in? My key business koru. Mane, is it that I'm in the business of baking cakes, or am I in the business of celebration? Or am I in the business of creating happiness for people? Now, there's a difference between I bake cakes to help people celebrate, to I bake cakes to help people celebrate so that friends can come together. And the benefit can go on and on and on. And the further away we can take the benefit from the actual product, but make it very strongly connected with the product, the stronger we will be when we talk about the power of the brand. So the first one is, what business are we in? The second question would be around, if I know what business I'm in, how do I make people feel? What do people feel when they consume me? Do I feel safe? Do I feel excited? Do I feel comforted? Do I feel cared for? Do I feel that I get a lot of strength and power? There are very, very different emotions, or again, not emotions alone. There are very different benefits. And the second question, therefore, we need to ask is, how do I want to make people feel? So for Dr. Vasavi, the question would be, if I have set this up, what do I want people to feel? What is the first thing that comes to their mind whenever they come in touch with my brand, whenever they engage with me? The third question is, how am I different from the others? How am I so, what makes me unique? And that is a very, very critical question to answer, because the answer is not always in the product. In fact, there are a lot of cases where the product is quite similar. A service is a service is a service, right? A bag is a bag is a bag. And yet there are some bags where even if it's given for free, we won't use it. And there are some bags that we dream to own one day in our lives. And when we answer these three questions, then we come to, how do we now make the brand stand out? What do we have to do to make us really get the eyeballs and the heart? Because it's not enough to just get eyeballs and heart. It also have to have the head, which is the purse has to open so that people buy the brand. Because ultimately we are in a business. We are not in the business of just entertaining or making people happy. We are in the business of making people spend on us. So how do we do that? Now, if you've watched IPL, you'll see that there are a lot of tech companies or online education companies that have really topped the top 10 media spenders or advertising. If you look at the top 10 spenders, they're actually all tech or media tech or edu tech. And why is that so? Because of the global pandemic, the need for a lot of applications, apps, as we know, which is tech apps, which are finance related, which are health related, which are well-being related, are things which we are downloading and consuming and using. Same for online education, which has suddenly got a very different place in people's minds. Now, what happens when a brand like Cred, C-R-E-D, and you would have heard about it, you would have read about it. Cred it facilitates credit card payments, and it's by membership. Now, they have signed up with not one, but two, but three Bollywood stars and come up with a piece of communication that is also being critiqued in its own way, but is very talked about. Now, that's a very quick way to get noticed, which is you latch on to something which is a great property, which is a national property, which is IPL and cricket. You latch on to Bollywood, which is again a great and important critical property, and immediately you stand out. Immediately you get the eyeballs. But everyone does not have the budgets like a cred, and all businesses are of different sizes. What happens when it's a local business? You definitely don't have the budgets or the resources to just sign up a celebrity all the time, nor is a celebrity even relevant for all businesses all the time. So the word, we have started using a lot in our business is to stand out. You need to be discovered. You need to be discovered because there are a sea of choices out there. In that sea of choices, when I go into search on Google, how will my brand name come up before everything else? When I talk to people, or when I go out to the mall or to any shopping, or when I go out to look for any service, how will I ensure that my brand is top of mind? And to be able to be discovered has a lot of strategies today. And I'm really talking small business out rather than big business in, because for big businesses, it's very difficult, but then you have that much of resources to go to, scaled up solutions. So the first one is to really use the power of technology to get established, and technology and digital allows us to do that. For example, when we use, and for those of you who are familiar with search, Google search or any other search, it's called search engine optimization, SEO, and search engine management, which is, it's simple. When I'm looking for, say, a property, what do I type in? When I'm looking for which is the holiday I can go to for a weekend drive, what do I type in? What am I looking for? Who am I asking? Where is my source of information? And as a brand, we need to get into those sources of information so that we become top of mind and stand out when the person is still discovering. The second, and I'm giving these as little hacks and tips for small business out and local business out. The second very powerful tool to get noticed is actually design and visuals. The power of visuals is amazing in today's world. In fact, visuals speak what 100 lines of copy cannot. It started off with, again, digital platforms like Instagram, but today it is going beyond that to product design, to service design, to your website design, to anything that has art, design, aesthetics. Because as people, we are getting so exposed to beautiful art around us, to beauty of design around us, that when we crack that, we immediately get noticed. The third, the story of the brand. Is there a founder story that can be spoken about, which is very, very powerful? Is there a story about, is the brand originating because it is supporting a community? For example, is it a textile brand that is actually supporting women weavers of Assam? I'm just making it up now. But when we look back into our brand, what is that one story in either the founder or the brand that is again so compelling that without having big budgets, people start talking about the story and helps us get noticed? And I'll give you a small example of, this is a brand that actually, it was not the brand's doing, and it is a brand because, all proper nouns are brands, but I'll give you the example of, this was a small dhaba, it is called Baba Ka Dhaba in Delhi. You may have read about it. It's a very, very small dhaba, and one of the food bloggers actually went on his rounds 2 weeks ago, and he saw this 70+ old man and his wife who run that little stall, who started weeping. He suddenly broke into tears and said he's made only 50 rupees the whole day because nobody's coming to his dhaba now, right? Because it's still semi-lockdown, people are not moving out, eating out, etc. This food blogger, the whole clip that he shot, he actually put it on digital. And within minutes, Baba Ka Dhaba has turned into a heavily branded stall, from Pepsi, who's taken up the signage, to Zomato, who signed with him to deliver food, to 10 other brands who in and around Baba Ka Dhaba's little stall has enabled him to start his business again. And people are going in droves in evenings and over weekends to eat from Baba Ka Dhaba. Now you tell me, a 74-year-old old man who had a little wayside stall, he didn't use technology himself, true. But it just shows how the power of technology can actually get you resources, support, consumers, sponsors, everything, if you have a very honest and true story. So Vasavi, that's pretty much what I have on this one. I'll be very happy to let the conversation flow and build on, if need be later.
Thank you so much, Babita. That was like wonderful. The digital technology, design and visual, the story. That's the main. I think yes, Baba Ka Dhaba. I just read about it, and that's really interesting how they got the attention. And I feel yes, there's a lot to building a brand. There's a lot, and how we go about it again is the strategies. So when I come to strategies, my question to Anisul, it's about this is a COVID period. We have not even gone to the post-COVID. I mean, there's another surge coming up, I think. So in this period, there's a lot of challenges in terms of branding, advertising, marketing, because the businesses are actually getting affected. So your comments on that. So how can we strategize our marketing and branding around this time? And what is the role of the digital platform? Babita has mentioned.
There's a problem with the sound.
Sorry, I got muted. I mean, I just got, there's a little bit of network issues.
Right,
so what's the role of the digital platform? Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, I can. I'll come to digital a bit later. I think Babita has just so beautifully, encapsulated almost everything. And she has said a lot of things which I wanted to say. So she already said it about branding and how you communicate and connect with the target audience and everyone, and then build your brand. I'll just go back a bit on branding and marketing, and then come down to what possibly small businesses or businesses of any size possibly can do. In the current scenario, possibly post-COVID scenario. Whenever someone starts a business, I think there are three words that I want to say. One is that intent. Number two is delivery, and then consistency. I believe that first of all, what is your intent? As Babita rightly said, what is the business actually you are in? But the other part of it is that what is your intent? What is the purpose of doing the business? Why are you getting into this particular business? So that you almost have to write it down to accentuate the very fact that why you are in the business, because that will drive whatever you're actually doing. Before that, you need to be very, very honest about what you are doing and what you are saying to yourself. Because unless you're honest to yourself, whatever you are trying to say and communicate and write down, somewhere down the line is going to do topsy-turvy and go wayward. So first thing is that the intent has to be very, very clear. Now, once the intent is clear, you develop a kind of a business model, develop a product or a service or whatever it is, an experience-based business, and then you give a brand name. Now, when we are talking about branding, I think I need to talk a little bit about how you brand a certain entity or a certain business. In our part of the country, we have seen many a times, in some of the clients that we have dealt with, and a lot of my friends who a lot of time talk to me and say, at a naam dibo like at a business start kuriya so sort of. A lot of times people go very emotional, and kind of it's okay to get emotional. I mean, there was one guy who started a Mercedes and he gave Mercedes after his daughter's name, but Mercedes is a Mercedes. It became for what it actually delivers. But you need to, before you brand a business, you need to have very strong story about why you're giving that brand name. It's very important to have a very strong storyline. I mean, not everyone can be a Nike, not everyone can become a Sony, but you can still be a very good business. You can be very strong and a big name to reckon with. So what I mean by having a very strong story and compelling story behind giving a name itself is that, there is one garment shop besides my place here. And its name is Genuine, Jain, as in my friend Nitin Jain's name, Genuine. And he gave the name Genuine. It sounds like genuine. What happens is that the first time when I saw the name, I really got zapped and I looked at it and I said, wow, this is a wonderful branding. I just hopped in the shop and I asked the owner, I mean, why you give it? And he gave a very lovely story why he gave this name. He thought a lot over it. Why I'm saying this this shop's name as a branding idea is that, you know, when you have a story, you have a belief system that you believe in your business, believe in the journey that you want to embark upon. And then will be very passionate about what exactly you are going to do. So the businesses that we are here, and possibly the people who are listening to us today or who were part of this webinar, I'd like to say, once you start once you have your intent ready in place and then you start doing the business, please deliver what you actually promised. It's even better if you overpromise and under promise and over deliver rather than the other way around. A lot of brands do that. And then what it will happen is that a brand is, I always believe that brand is something that what it does and how it communicates. And you really have to walk the talk. I mean, you say something, but you deliver actually something else. You're very almost pompous in your communication, but you're actually not there. You're not accessible to the consumer. You say something, but you deliver something else. These are all something which create a lot of discrepancy and a lot of confusion in a consumer's mind. And eventually the brand almost dies a premature death. So at the heart of it, first of all, you have to decide what exactly you're going to deliver, put your everything into it, create, design an identity about your business, which is called branding, and then come up with a whole strategy. Now, you asked me about was the scenario in the COVID, post-COVID, what's going to be the scenario of marketing and advertising? It's not going to be very different from what I personally feel. It's not going to be very different than it probably has been, but there are a few issues which every marketer, every business owner need to take care of, every brand owner need to take care of. You know, first of all, I think the very important thing that one needs to take care of is the empathy factor. Today, people are consumers, if we, in business parlance for us is consumers are becoming very sensitive about life itself and livelihood. So when it is the cases like that, you as a marketer or a brand owner or selling a product or a service, you need to be very careful to empathize, to understand what exactly the consumer is going through. Because ultimately, a successful marketer, I believe, is always a part of the lives of its consumers. So when you're part of the life of consumers, it's like you are a human being and the consumer is a friend of yours. And I always find a very strong corollary between human beings and the worldly brands that we talk about. It's the relationship that a brand always develops within the consumers that's going to get stuck for a very long time. And that's going to pay dividend not only to the consumers, but to the brands themselves. So first factor is empathize. Please humanize your content that you create to get connected with your consumer. What I mean by humanizing your content is that a brand has to communicate right from its packaging, brand name packaging, to its advertising, to promotions, to everything. It communicates all the time with consumers. The content that you create, not only on social media, not only on digital platform, but also offline, you know, all this, is that you need to be very, very consistent, very humane in your approach, very, 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 very honest. You cannot overpromise a lot of, and again, I've seen during the COVID period, a lot of brands across the world try to be very nice and very sweet and nice and talk about brand purposes and all. These are all good. But at the end of the day, consumers want you to deliver something for which they actually become your takers. They buy the brand. So you have to deliver. You have to talk about that also. You have to be matter of fact at the same time. And then you really have to hit the pain points of the consumer. There are pain points of consumer, especially today when the consumers are going through those pain points. Please address them. Whatever sector you are in, you don't forget to address those pain issues. So what it will create the brand's image as something which is very honest, which is transparent, which really understands me, which wants to deliver and give to me what I'm probably looking for. Then I think we are also going through a period when a lot of fear is there. You know, it's quite understandable. Every day there are a lot of news and information, you know, bringing in. The data is so much of data that sometimes we get scared that what will happen. A brand's business is not something to add to that confusion or add to that fear. It really has to give succor to the consumer, saying that, okay, rest assured, whatever is there, we are there with you, and you know the world will find a better way to deal with this. So I think that is something the brand has to look into. This is very critical. A brand always comes up with its own promises and its own DNA and whatever the brand stands for. Whatever the current scenario is, it's a temporary scenario. I'm sure it's going to be over sooner or later, and the brand is going to be there for a very long time. Whatever brand you've come up with, or it's already there, you're going to come up with. think long term. As a brand owner, you really have to think long term and start getting in touch with the consumer on that platform also. What I mean is that whatever your short-term goals are, short-term communication strategies are, do not forget that long-term thing. Do not forget the core of your messaging, the core of your brand's DNA. So always keep that intact so that consumers think that you're actually there, what we know you as. You know, you don't fly from that. Now, because of a lot of safety issues for consumers today, what's happening is that a lot of consumers would definitely look forward to, having their whatever product they're in directly delivered to their homes. You know, this is something consumers definitely look for. And a lot of consumer products beyond normal consumer products, a lot of other consumer goods also need to have to think about that. What it will also bring in is that it will bring the company much closer to the consumers. So, you know, there are issues like that. And I think the brand also needs to reinforce its promises all the time, that this is what we stand for, don't worry, you're going to be there. And because people are going to be very careful about the money they spend, because people have stopped earning as much money they used to earlier, they're going through a very lean phase. So how much value a brand is adding and how much value the brand is at the end of the day giving to the consumer at the price the consumer is paying, this is going to be very critical. Consumer has to feel and be convinced at the end of the day that I'm really getting what I'm actually paying for. Vasobi, I think this should summarize because you're running out of time already. Yeah. And I'll continue. I'll continue on this later.
Absolutely. So
there are other issues also. Yeah.
Right. So you shared some very interesting strategies and how we need to, behave as brands at this time. And coming to Nitin. So Nitin, see, you meet a lot of clients who comes to you for advertising and for branding. Right. So am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah.
You are audible, Vasu.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm a little confused about this connection. Anyway, so Nitin, there are a lot of
There's a problem now. It's off.
You are again muted.
Yeah, I'm back. I'll be coming off and on. Okay, so
Okay.
I think I'll just give Nitin. This question is for you.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of clients that you come across on a day-to-day basis who comes to you for branding and advertising, and I feel they are confused because even we as a brand, like I run Tender Petals, and we are also confused to about how much we should spend on advertising at this point of time. And so this is like in the current scenario. Mr. Anisul touched upon it a little, but I would want to know from Nitin, because when these clients come to you and they are confused, what do you think they should be doing now? And also tell us about the key challenges for a brand in the post-COVID market.
Yeah. As when this lockdown happened, most of our clients have almost most of the clients have put down their budget to zero, and it was a very bad phase for the entire industry. If I tell about the advertising, so I think all the big agencies, in the entire country, they went through a very bad phase, and still we are continuing. It's not still good. But as you asked me, what should be the way out, or do they really need to do advertising at this point of view? Is because they're already going through a lot. Most of the companies are going through a lot. They are having losses. They are having job cuts. They are having salary cuts. So what should they do as per the advertising is concerned? So here, look, we create a brand with so many years of our hard work. If suppose we take example of you, Vasavi, you have created Tender Petals. I think it's almost 7-8 years now, and you have created a brand. Putting all your hard-earned money, your hard work, your everything. Now suddenly, if you goes out of the market, but yes, you definitely have to look what kind of amount you can put in, because you're already in losses. If suppose you are in loss, so here we have to understand that the habit has been changed of our consumer. The way they used to think, pre-COVID, their way of thinking has been changed. So we have to now act understand the consumer behavior, and we have to change in this pandemic situation. It might be now your communication strategy will change, your content will change, but you definitely cannot go out of the market. You cannot, like as Babita was saying, I was saying, it's not important if we need to do advertising to become a brand, but yes, at this point of time, when people are nervous, when people are already scared, suppose if you take an example of a retail store, do they really need to visit a retail store or not? So what should a brand like Big Bazaar do at this point of time? If there is no people out there, we have already, know about what has happened to Future Group. So we definitely need to communicate with our, consumer. We have to communicate with them. Yes, we might change our strategy in terms of the medium. If suppose before we used to have a bombastic budget in terms of ATL, like printed, outdoor, we may change it to digital now. If suppose we are spending 10 lakh before, we may spend 1 lakh now. But we have to understand that we cannot go out of the market just suddenly. Because this is a time when we really need to communicate with our consumer. We have to make them believe that we are still there. Like suppose if you are having a job cut, did you make sure that like all of your employees are out? No, because you really need to also run the business. So similarly, you cannot be zero in terms of advertisement. You have to definitely do something. Yes, you have to now, might be you have to change your strategy. You need to change the medium. If suppose we have seen in the lockdown period, there are hardly people who are reading newspaper, because they were scared, will coronavirus will come through the newspaper. So there are most of the people, they were not reading newspaper. So at that point of time, we may, change our strategy. If suppose you used to do printed before, we may change from printed to might be digital. Because there was no people in the street, so the outdoor was not important at that point of time. But like what Babita and Anisul, so we have to really need to create, like when people have started, why Baba Ka Dhaba was not making money? Because people were scared to go to restaurant. They used to think, what will be the hygiene? If suppose it, if from food it may come, because still nobody is sure how this coronavirus is spreading. There are myths all about it. So, but just as true story have made him famous overnight, and we have seen what has happened now. It's like the now local channel have started making a Baba Ka Dhaba in Guwahati also. And I believe it is being now copied all across the country. So we can definitely, we cannot say, at this point of time, we should stop advertisement. We have to plan it properly, Vasavi. Advertisement is must, because you have to communicate with your consumer now in a proper way. If suppose you are into a real estate business, it might be you may not talking directly about your flats or anything else, but you really need to create a story and make them believe you are still there. You're worrying about them, so that because
Yes.
it's not, the sale have gone down. It's not, if you have seen Guwahati now, it is like before. If you believe me, you don't feel like that there was any coronavirus. There might be difference in sales, but going out of this market is not a sensible thing to do at point of time. Now
Absolutely.
regarding the challenges, there are definitely, India is going through a very bad phase. If we talk about the economy, if you talk about the GDP, in the entire South Asia, India is now the third. Bangladesh is ahead of us. It's only now Pakistan and Nepal. We are ahead of these two countries. Apart from that, all the countries are ahead of us. So it's a very, very, difficult, you can say, time for this country. But as we say, tough time never lasts, but tough people do. So we have to be strong at this point of time, because this phase will again go, because as per the expert says, 2021, we are coming back very strong. So in terms of brand recall, yes, it has gone for a toast because of this, COVID-19 lockdown. So because the habit has been changed, the people habit has been changed. So it can break and make the habit. So brands are deeply worried at this point of time, as per the current share and the business is going, because there is no money in the market, there is no flow of money. But there are people again who are again spending also. It's not, Mercedes are not selling the cars, or Audi is not selling their cars. So everyone doing their business, it might be there's a difference. If suppose as a company, if I used to do before a business of X amount, I may be doing a business of now 25% of that tax. And I really need to plan it accordingly. How can I make this 25 to 50 and then 75 and then come back to my 100 and plus? ठीक है, तो we are really going, and you know our human instinct is that we never stop fighting. That's our common nature has. So we have to keep fighting because this industry is bleeding as per our economy is going. So invest in marketing and take baby steps. What I'll say at this point of time, we have to take baby steps to get back into the game. We cannot run out of this game. If we are playing cricket and if somebody has scored 350, we have to keep running. We it might be if we have lose 2 wickets, 3 wickets, it doesn't mean that we have lose the game. We have to now plan it properly. We have to take baby steps. Yes, we cannot be bombastic as before because we also have to really need to take care of our finances at this point of time. How much money is there? How we have to plan? How much people we really need in our team? In all the businesses. So we have to do the marketing at this point of time so that we can communicate properly, and we should plan this lockdown because this period will get over sooner or later. It may take 6 months of time, it may take 9 months of time, but it will get over one day. So we have to plan it properly at this point of time. That's all.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Nitin. Thank you so much. And when you talk about planning, yes, when you mentioned about the newspapers, we used to give newspaper ads, but when we saw that the newspapers were not going to the houses, we stopped it. So we need to actually strategize how we go about it. And I think digital is the best platform as of now because people are starting to move out, but not all, or not all of them are moving out. But
That's
yes,
what I just need to add on, but we cannot be scared at this point. We have to
we
really
cannot be scared.
we
Yeah,
really need to be practical, and we really need to plan at this point of time how we overcome this pandemic situation. It is there now. We can't help it.
no,
It is there.
actually, I think we have to be very flexible also. And, in that flexibility, we cannot have our egos that, oh, we did such big branding and now we are doing smaller brandings. But I think it is the visibility that matters a lot. And during these tough times, maybe your product is not even selling, but being visible is that, that fact that resonates. And then later, the product can sell when the times are better. So Nitin very correctly said that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. The one who are now, there, they'll be there forever, I feel, because this is a unprecedented thing. I think my mother or somebody, of their age also is 75 plus may have not seen such a thing happening. So we are in a place where history is being created. This year is going to be studied, and we studied at one point of time that this happened at this time, and we have been there to witness it all. So yeah, these are trying times, but I think we have to be resilient. Coming to Babita, when we talk about the key behavior, consumer behavior changes, which Nitin already talked about. So taking this forward, Babita, can you comment on what are the changes that are consumer behavior changes that are impacting the brands, and basically recreating one's brand to create an edge over the cutthroat competition, because competition is very high. And how should we go about it? I mean,
Yeah, so I'll keep it short because I'm also conscious that we are now towards the end of our slot, but I'll touch upon 2 or 3 behavior changes that we see around us, right? And some of this has not been brought on by the pandemic, the COVID, but definitely they have been accelerated because of COVID. So the first is, and it's a little example, I was doing a little bit of research on Google search, and Google search has the reports on search, right? And one of the interesting things, and this is global, but it is also applicable to Asia and India, more or less the trend is the same. Till a few years ago, and this is as early or late as the last 2 years, one of the most search keywords started with cheap or ended with cheap, which is what is the cheapest thing available? Where do I get it cheap? Whatever way. Because all of us, and especially in cultures that are very thrift conscious, right? We look for good deals. And the word that we use for a good deal when we search is cheap. But increasingly, the Google Trend Report shows that the word cheap is being replaced by the word best, which is what is the best pair of shoes for me? What is the best thing for me? Now, that's a very interesting behavior change. One is the confidence that people have that you don't need to be very specific when you ask for something. but you can talk about a higher order value and you will get the result that you seek. So when I say, what is the best car for someone like me? I know that, or I trust, not know, I trust technology to give me that also takes into account what I can afford, because that is what data does for us, right? And I think the entire definition of marketing is changing with the use of data and with the way data is being used. So that's one interesting piece of how people are evolving in the way they are going from very simple order needs to higher order needs when they come to brands. The other is the comfort with e-commerce and the comfort with e-payments before e-commerce. I think before demonetization, I myself did not have Paytm on my phone. After demonetization, also during demonetization, I remember, just in the middle of demonetization, we were going on a flight to Guwahati, and my daughter was, I think she was 10 years old, 11 years old. And we only had coins in our house, because there was no cash at all, because, the money which we had was not a thing, right? And because you could manage online and we were going home, so we thought we'll manage at home. And in the airport, of course, in the security, there was a sound from her bag. She was carrying a little bag. And I was also wondering what has she carried by mistake, and then they opened a bag, checked it, and it was a little bag of coins. So she had opened she has a little piggy bank. So she opened it because she heard us talking, there's no money in the house and we'll have to go, to Guwahati, ask my brother-in-law to take out money, etc. And she took her thing full of coins. Even the security laughed there and then gave her back the coins, saying, "Nahi, beta, aap use kijiye," and all of that stuff. The reason I'm saying is from there to where we are today, when it comes to Paytm, Google Pay, Bheem, you take any UPI payment. I had an Amazon person waiting outside just today in the morning, and it was a cash on delivery. And, I did not have, again, the small change. And he said, "Madam, aap Google Pay kijiye." And I didn't even know that you could do Google Pay. So he's at the gate, I'm inside, social distancing. He gives me his number. We do Google Pay. The payment is done. It's over. Now, this kind of a change is actually behavior change and also attitude change. And there's a difference between behavior and attitude very quickly. Behavior is action, right? Which is my behavior has now moved to using online payment like Paytm or digital payment. Attitude means the trust that I have towards anything where I don't physically have to touch it. That's attitude, right? So attitude, behavior change leads to attitude, or change in attitude sometimes leads to behavior. That's for another day. And I'm very happy to do another session on that. But the second change is therefore the comfort with e-commerce. And that is allowing a lot of small businesses, retail, big businesses to access new markets, to talk to people about offers that you can have, which they can actually access and pay online. To Nitin's point on, again, Vasavi, we are using you as an example today. But really, I mean, if there was any hurdle that you faced because, whatever you did before, thanks to the pandemic is not, this allows you to do that. The whole comfort with technology and the comfort with e-commerce. The third is the trust that people have in word of mouth. Today, really, it is about in my WhatsApp group, in my, cycling group, in my school mothers group, what are people discussing? And I seem to trust that equally, or maybe sometimes more than what I see on the screen. So kisi ne bola ki somebody says, this is this good thing available there. Have you tried it? Or have you done that? Have you checked that? And you immediately do. There's this nice exercise site online. Do you want to pay for it? I never exercise. I only pay for exercising, but I go and do that. Now that word of mouth is again being catapulted by digital, because we are now in groups. We are connected like never before. Okay. And the fourth one is a shift, which was again starting off before COVID, but is really accelerated now, which is mindfulness. Mindfulness means whatever I do, I don't do it without thinking, without, giving it much thought, but I give it with a lot of, I consume it with a lot of thinking. For example, what we are eating now is a lot of mindfulness. For example, are we eating something that will make our bodies weak and therefore vulnerable to infection? Now that is mindful eating, where we are actually thinking about what we are consuming. When it comes to, say, watching news channels, and we know the kind of news channel sensationalism. Now, mindful consumption of news channel is which are the 1 or 2 channels or sites or streaming services that I really trust, and I feel when I watch that, the house is not filled with sound of sensation, but rather gives us the kind of news we want to. And these are very small examples. Say again, if I want to sort of donate something to someone, what am I doing? Which brand allows me to donate? So for example, am I buying into a brand which is contributing some part of it to the delivery boys of Zomato, boys and girls of Zomato? So mindfulness is actually really about not CSR, but it is about ourselves. That when I wake up in the morning to the time I go to bed, whatever I'm doing, I'm giving it a little more thought. So these things about seeking value, comfort with technology, comfort with e-commerce, digital payments, power of word of mouth, mindfulness, seeking trust, these are changes that are altering the way in which we look at a brand. So again, Anis, thank you, you covered some of it, but really if there are 3 drivers or factors that are very important today basis this behavior change, I would put it as value, which Anis covered very beautifully, which is what is the value I'm bringing to you as a brand. So if it is a school or preschool, that we spoke about, is it education or is it nurturing a future citizen for tomorrow? Is it a place where your child is getting values that will make him or her a better citizen for the future? That's the difference when we come to value. The second is quality, which is again covered by both Nitin and Anis, which is you cannot compromise on the quality that you have promised. And the third is availability. And today with the pandemic, availability has become very, very critical because you want something and you want it now. So for example, if I go to a store, I may be trusting a brand of biscuits and I may be consuming it for the last 5 years. But if it's not there in 2 stores, I'm not now going to wait for it. I would do that before, because now I have a lot of other choices around me which are promising me. So my number 2 and number 3 and number 4 brands are not very different from each other. So yes, there are some brands which we won't compromise on, but what we are seeing is if we are not available when the consumer wants to consume us, there's a very strong chance of a change happening. And that is because of the power of tech, the power of word of mouth, the availability of choices. And that's what I would like to end today, for the audience. Again, I spoke about time and I hope I haven't taken too much of it. Over to you, Vasavi.
Thank you, Babita. So beautifully explained. And yes, we are running out of time. Very quickly, I would want, first, I would want Nitin to talk about your brand building experiences, because you've built a few brands, but you can just encapsulate your experience and tell the viewers that how you thought about it, basically, your thought process. Maybe it won't, it can be different from someone else, but how you went about it, probably they can take some cues, from that.
When just now when Babita and Anis were speaking about brands, I was just thinking whatever they said unknowingly at that point of time, 15 years back, I was doing exactly the same. And I believe I didn't knew about brands at that point of time or how to create a brand, but luckily, like I think I was doing right, and they took me back to that 15 years back when I was doing all this thing when Babita and Anis were speaking. So I just again highlight the same thing. When I started Prodigy, I went and met all the agencies, other agencies which were in the market, what they were doing, where was the gap, and I figured out, look, when you create any brand, the most important thing, are you a visualizer? Can you visualize what is coming? After 2 years, after 5 years, what are the changes which will be coming? If you see in today's world, like what just Babita said, that Amazon guy saying Google Pay kar do. Now we have never thought कि पान दुकान मिल सके Paytm कर दो, ये कर दो या वो कर दो, ठीक है? So there has been a lot of changes now. This company, you have seen it before they came. When Amazon have seen it before it came, people will go online in coming times, and the people who go to the store will change in coming times. So similarly, when I started it, I saw that there was no one here who was spending on manpower. You know, our industry, if you talk about an agency, it's all about people. We don't have a showroom where we can show our product. Our product is our people. So I started finding, people who are talented from Assam, who have went to Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Calcutta. So I spend a lot of time and money to bring them back to Guwahati and pay them what they deserve. Because at that point of time, no one was paying yet that much of money to all these people. Because there's no such business. I didn't also have that much of business at that point of time, but I figured out if I really need to make this business a bigger one, I need to spend on people. So I started doing that. And then I started small branding. It's not that we don't need advertising or we don't need our own branding. So I started with an concept of AGM, which was no one doing in our industry at that point of time. So I started annual general meeting in a bigger way, calling clients and all that. So they so कि अच्छा एक company है जो ऐसा कर रही है. I started with monthly meet. I started with weekly meet. I started making calendar and diary. Again, not only just calendar and diary in terms of where we put out our name. No, we created the entire creative, and we made it so innovative. And with so creativity, people started talking about it. That's how we built our branding. We started when digital came. We started doing digital campaign. We started with some CSR. How we also can be seen, with a social value. So that's how we created Prodigy. Then I have a resto bar, a village club called Chopal near Kaziranga. So when I started Chopal, I figured out that from Guwahati to Tinsukia, there's not even a single place where people can go and do a bathroom in a clean place. They can have a hygiene way, proper food. They're all dhabas and all. So I thought of creating a place where people can come, relax, sit, enjoy. So at that point of time, I played with the place. I played with the beauty which I got there. And so like what I said you before also, branding is all about if how the right product, if you can use the place in a better, like what Babita said, it has to be available at this point of time. If it is not available, people will go for another option. So thirdly, recently I started a company called Phoenix, which is into real estate consultancy. So what this is all about, it is all about when I figured out there are lots of real estate players who are coming up who are not actually builders. They are basically businessmen. They have different businesses, but they are now, turning into be developers. So, but again, they were lacking with that proper consultancy. So can I create a forum or I can create a platform where they can get everything at one place, like, making them meet the customer directly through my platform. Can they have the legal thing at one place? Can they have the bank loan from one place? Can they do the entire, checking of their documents and all that thing? So I created a platform where everything is included at one place, and the developer just can have one dream that he wants to become a developer, and we can help him do that, finding the land to sell it, to build that thing, to get a proper architect, to get the permission, to get even the customer get the home loan and all that. So my point here is like what Anish said, whenever you create any business, first your intent has to be correct. You have to exactly know what business you are getting into. Study what is lacking in that business in your place. Once you are successful in your area, you can multiply it. Once we are okay with now we are making it entire digital now, the kind of CRM and all we are coming up with. So there will be no one which will be competitor of us in this area. Then we can replicate it to the other part of the country. So that is easy once you are successful at one point. So that's all, Basubi. Thank you.
That's lovely. And I think, yes, that actually, I feel besides, all the other things we were talking about, the consistency, intent, delivery, technology, design, everything that creates a brand, how we go about it, how we actually, communicate to our the vision, being far-sighted, being able to see what is going to come in the next 3-4 years, and planning accordingly. And tuning your vision to the customer's needs, I think, is very important while creating a brand. So coming to you, Anisul, very quickly, because we are running out of time. I would want to comment, I would want you to comment on the key customer behavior, which Babita already talked about. What do you think, we should do to recreate the brand at this point of time?
Yes, Vasubi, listening to Nitin, I'm just having a feeling that you invited him to be an ad guru, marketing guru today. But apart from that, he is really being a super inspiration for a lot of entrepreneurs. The way he's going about, expanding his business is absolutely awesome, brother. Keep it up. I've always been an admirer of Nitin being, huge entrepreneur, super business.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Vasubi, I won't like to touch anything upon the consumer behavior because Babita has extensively said everything about that, everything possible. So a lot of things, in fact, I'm completely in sync with whatever she has said. Just 3-4 things I just to say and I to wind up about entrepreneurs. Possibly, these are the people who are actually we are targeting today as possibly who are, watching us. People who are brand owners. If you are someone who's into startup business, who's starting your own startup or owning your own brand, I think just remember 3-4 things. First of all, is that whatever business you are in, leave your business, leave your brand. It's almost like someone like Steve Jobs, the way he lived life. Look at him and he's the Apple guy. And there are so many other people. So this Tesla guy and everything. What happens is I'm talking about the smallest of businesses. And if you are having a pan ka dukan, and you should look and behave like that guy. You should look like the Panditji, because see, and not everyone can sell everything. And you need to look that part, for example. Now, if you are into mechanic, if you're into a car mechanic sort of thing, you have to look like, behave like one, so that people, start looking at you like this. If you're opening a biryani shop, biryani outlet, and you are so prim and proper, without any sound and no smell, I mean, no one is going to be there. There has to be some relevant sounds coming out of the place, some aura, you're sniffing around and go that there's the solid guy sitting, sound of the handi coming up, these are all part of that. What I'm trying to mean is that whatever brand you launch, whatever brand you sell, whatever brand you own, try to live that life and be very proud of what you are doing. Enjoy that. That is the only way to do good about that business. Second is that, be very consistent in what you do and be very consistent in your communication also. It doesn't mean that you get stayed and straitjacketed and fuddy-duddy. It means that you are being consistent with your core values, but at the same time, you remain contemporary. I can only think about Amitabh Bachchan when I'm saying this. This man at the age of 78, he's still so contemporary. Okay, but he's a classic. He's been there. He was contemporary just 50 years ago. He's still a contemporary. This is the kind of brand behavior, the way the brain should behave. And please, brand owners, startup guys, do not hesitate to use resources. People like us, the advertising guys. I mean, there are, when you start a business, you are the person who's actually owning the whole risk, whole process. Now, you have to get the best of the guys on board. Always hire best of the people. It's not easy, let me tell you, designing a brand's identity. It's not easy writing a tagline. It's not easy writing a positioning, creating a positioning for a brand. It might look very simple when it's done. But the people who create it, they go through hell a lot. And Babita, who else than Babita knows it? She has spent so many years in advertising marketing. Nitin also knows that. I mean, we guys have to spend so much time, reams of papers, data to finally come down to something like 2-3 words. I myself am reading so many taglines. I'm myself given names to so many brands, and I'm very happy that they're very successful brands today. And I take pride in the fact that I have been a part of that journey, that drudgery that we have to go through to create that. What I'm saying this, I want you to understand that when you have to create something, every part of business, if you have to create and go about, please hire the best possible people. Okay, if you have to outsource it to them. And finally, of course, just enjoy the ride, and because whatever we talk about the new normal and whatever, it's going to come, but our urge to leave will always be there. Every human being wants to live this life till one dies, and for that, every human being requires so many things apart from just eating and sleeping. You need so many other things in life, And especially now, when you know a lot of changes have been taking place because of this pandemic, people have much more time in their hand because they're getting so many things being delivered to them, and they're not going out much. So that is leaving people with so much other time. That is also leaving a lot of potential entrepreneurs to come up with so many more ideas to give it to them and sell to them. Wonderful to be here along with all these stalwarts, including you, Vasobi. You're doing wonderful as an entrepreneur, and I'm a fan of yours. Fan of yours, absolutely. And
Thanks, Anis.
Bobita,
Thanks for
yes,
that.
Bobita, I've always been. I never miss out any of her articles for all these years. Yesterday, I was reading an article you wrote in 2015. And I love that. Let me tell you that. Confess that I always, you are one of the persons in advertising sector I really admire and really love to listen to and read about. Nitin, bro, it's always there. Respect and a lot of best wishes. And thank you, everyone. I'm honored to be part of this.
So it was lovely. I think we can have another webinar on what Babita was saying, the behavior, consumer behavior and the attitude. And actually, because I've been a struggler, I don't come from any business family. And probably when I started my business, I was really confused. And in fact, I think Nitin helped me out at that point of time. And to create a brand identity, yes, it's very, very, one has to be very clear, and one has to also be very persistent, because there are a lot of failures, ups and downs. No strategy works at one go, and we have to keep keep ourselves flexible. We have to keep adjusting. We have to learn from the others in the market also, yet keep our originality, which is very important. We just can't copy and paste and just see something and do that. We need to clearly understand what we are communicating and what we want to. And I think this journey has been an incredible one. It's been full of ups and downs. The downs have been great, lessons for me, and the ups really, motivating moments, which I still think about. And it was so lovely to have you guys today here, because we really discussed a lot. And I think, if there are any questions from the attendees, we could have taken them, but since we are running out of time, they can just type the questions. We can take it, because we are keeping this on for some time. And also, if there is any need of any other webinar from Albion regarding any topic they would want to, listen to or understand, they are free to leave a message on the chat box so that we can take that up as our upcoming webinar topic. And thank you so much, Babita. Thank you so much, Nitin, and thank you so much, Anisul, for your time today. And I think that there are a lot of key takeaways for all those who have been seeing us in our Zoom, and also in Facebook Live. We also have our YouTube channel where we'll be putting this up by tomorrow. And then all those who have missed it can have a look at it. Thank you so much. And I think we wind up, and we'll be hanging on for any communication from the attendees if they would want to. Thank you so much.
I'll just end up here, by saying one line: when life gives you tension, don't give it much of attention.
Wow.
Remember,
absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Absolutely.
Remember, this pandemic will go, and we are going to learn a lot from this. But make sure it doesn't break us, because there will be time when we'll not remember these days. It might be after 3 years, 4 years, we may not remember that there was a pandemic.
Correct.
So just be positive.
Yeah,
and what again I'm saying is, tough time never lasts, but tough people do. So let's be positive, and let's not make it a big issue, and let us focus how we can, survive this, and how we can again come into track and be successful. Thank you. Thank you all.
and thank you, Nitin. And this time, I think these are really moments that probably we will also remember, because we've learned so much at this time. And these are stories, we'll be able to tell our grandchildren, probably sitting this, look at, at that point of time, I've been an entrepreneur, I was doing this, what are you? So, I mean, there are a lot of stories, and we are actually weaving stories in our life. And that is that's what is history. We are actually creating history, all of us. And we have that potential as well, anybody who started something new, anybody who's got that motivation, the enthusiasm to go ahead in life. Thank you so much once again. Have a great evening, and we'll all see each other again. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Ah.